Determination of sentence. The prosecution submits that Mr. Bemba's sentence should be no less than 25 years of imprisonment. The legal representative submits that Mr. Bemba deserves a sentence beyond the maximum threshold. The defense submits that Mr. Bemba should receive a joint sentence in the lower range of sentences previously passed on commanders at the International Criminal Courts. It stresses that a sentence outside the range of 12 to 14 years of imprisonment would infringe Mr. Bemba's rights. Pursuant to Rule 145, 1A and B, the Chamber must balance all the relevant factors, including any mitigating and aggravating factors, and consider the circumstances both of the convicted person and the crimes. In order to sufficiently and adequately acknowledge the harm to the victims and fulfill the objectives of sentencing, in particular retribution and deterrence, the sentence must be proportionate to the gravity of the crimes and the individual circumstances and culpability of the convicted person. Pursuant to Article 77(1), the Chamber may sentence a person convicted of any crime referred to in Article 5 to a term of imprisonment of up to 30 years, or, when justified by the extreme gravity of the crime and the convicted person's individual circumstances, a term of life imprisonment. Taking into account all factors mentioned above, the Chamber sentences Mr. Bemba, who was convicted for the following crimes under Article 28A as a person effectively acting as a military commander, to the following terms of imprisonment. Murder as a war crime, 16 years of imprisonment. Murder as a crime against humanity, 16 years imprisonment. Rape as a war crime, 18 years of imprisonment. Rape as a crime against humanity, 18 years of imprisonment. And pillaging as a war crime, 16 years of imprisonment. The Chamber considers that the highest sentence imposed, namely 18 years for rape, reflects the totality of Mr. Bemba's culpability. The Chamber decides that the sentences imposed for the war crimes and crimes against humanity of murder and rape, and the war crime of pillaging, shall run concurrently. Finally, the Chamber decides that in the circumstances of this case, imprisonment is a sufficient penalty. Pursuant to Article 78(2), Mr. Bemba is entitled to credit against his sentence for the time he has spent in detention in accordance with an order of this court, namely, since his arrest on 20 May 2008, pursuant to a warrant of arrest issued by Pretrial Chamber II. Conclusion: for the foregoing reasons, the Chamber sentences Mr. Jean-Pierre Bemba Gombo to a total of 18 years of imprisonment, orders the deduction of the time Mr. Bemba has spent in detention pursuant to an order of this court, and informs the parties and participants that reparations to victims pursuant to Article 75 of the statute shall be addressed in due course. The Chamber thanks everyone here present for your kind attention. On behalf of the Chamber, I would like to thank the entire staff of the registry, including court officers, the interpreters, the court reporters, and all dedicated members of the registry staff who have assisted us in this hearing and who made it possible for us to conduct this entire trial. I also would like to thank the Chamber's administrative and legal staff, the legal advisor, our legal officers, our associate legal officers, our assistant legal officers and research assistants, our administrative assistants, interns, and visiting professionals who assisted us throughout the proceedings and whose assistance was fundamental for the conduct of the proceedings throughout this trial. With this decision, this chamber, in its current composition, concludes the present trial. The hearing is concluded.
All rise. Ve voleve.